Efuru by Flora Nwapa. Chapter 1. They saw each other fairly often, and after a fortnight's courting, she agreed to marry him. But the man had no money for the dowry. He had just a few pounds for the farm and could not part with that. When the woman saw that he was unable to pay anything, she told him not to bother about the dowry. They were going to proclaim themselves married, and that was that. Efuru was her name. She was a remarkable woman. It was not only that she came from a distinguished family, she was distinguished herself. Her husband was not known, and people wondered why she married him. It was after the festival in which young men and young women looked for wives and husbands that Efuru first met Adizua. Adizua asked her to marry him, and she agreed. One moonlit night, they went out. They talked of a number of things, their life and their happiness. Efuru told him that she would drown herself in the lake if he did not marry her. Adizua told her he loved her very much, and that even the dust she trod on meant something to him. "But what about the dowry?" the woman asked. "You will come to me on Nkwo Day. Every place will be quiet that day, being market day. Take a few clothes with you and come to me. We shall talk about the dowry after." Efuru agreed and went home feeling very happy and light. "It's late. Efuru, where are you coming from?" one of her cousins asked her as she was opening the gate of the compound. "Don't you see the moon? Is that the reason why we should come home so late? I shall tell your father. A young woman like you should not be out so late." "I don't care whom you tell." The next morning, the cousin went to Efuru's father and told him that he had seen Efuru at a very late hour last night, and when he asked her why she was so late, she was rude to him. "My brother, help me to talk. I am tired of talking. I don't know what is wrong with young women of these days. I noticed that Efuru has been coming home late for quite some time. I asked her whom she was seeing so late, and she said nothing. If her mother were alive, she would have known how to handle her. Do you think there is a man in her life?" "I think so, my brother. If the man wants to marry her, there is nothing wrong about that. The man should come and fulfill the customs of our people and marry her. But as it seems now, I don't think the man in question wants to marry her, and that is dangerous. What if she gets pregnant? Who will look after her now that her mother is dead?" "I shall do my best to be of any help to you. I shall investigate." On Nkwo Day, when everybody had gone to the market, Efuru prepared herself. She had her bath very early in the stream. She took great care that morning over her appearance. Her father was now not at home. She took a few of her belongings and went to her lover's house. The mother of the young man went to the market. When she returned, she was surprised to see Efuru's clothes and a few other possessions in her son's room. The young man was quick to explain. He told his mother that Efuru was his wife. "I have no money for the dowry yet. Efuru herself understands this. We have agreed to be husband and wife, and that is all that matters." The young man's mother was excited, for her son had indeed made a good choice. "You are welcome, my daughter. But your father, what will you say to him?" "Leave that to me, I shall settle it myself." Efuru's father returned from the market and did not see his daughter. "Perhaps she went to the stream," he said to himself. But Efuru did not return. Just when he was about to go to bed, he heard a knock at the door. "Who is that?" "It's a man. Open the door." "Oh, is that you, my brother? Did you see Efuru?" "Efuru has run away to a young man. It's a shame. Our enemies will glory in this. This young man is nobody. His family is not known. Efuru has brought shame on us. Something must be done immediately to get her back." "What are we going to do, my brother?" We shall send our young men to go to the man's house. Efuru will be asked to come home with them, that's all." On the appointed day, the young men went to bring back their daughter who had brought so much disgrace to them. Immediately Efuru saw the men. She came out and greeted them. "Welcome, my brothers. What good wind brings you here today? I hope all is well." "All is well, our daughter," the men said. "We have come for a business," the spokesman added. "We shall have kola before the business." "It is a pity my husband is not at home. He went to the farm." Efuru brought 2 big kola nuts. They were fit only for kings. She put them before the men with some alligator pepper. The spokesman took 1 kola nut and blessed it. Then he broke it and gave the men. Meanwhile, Efuru brought out a bottle of homemade gin, a very good one, that has been in a kerosene tin for nearly 6 months. "I am sure you will like this gin. My boys had buried it in the ground last year when there was rumor that policemen were sent to search our house. When the policemen left, finding nothing, my boys was still afraid and left it in the ground. A week later, she fell ill and was rushed to the hospital where she remained for 6 months. She came back only a week ago, so the gin is a very good one." The men enjoyed the drink very much. They finished the bottle, and some of them were even tipsy. "We shall go, our daughter," the spokesman said. "You seem to be happy here, and we wonder why your father wants us to bring you back. We shall tell him what we have seen, but your husband must fulfill the customs of our people. It is very important. Our enemies will laugh at us. Tell your husband he must see your father. Let him not be afraid." Efuru knelt down and thanked the men. "Tell my father that I shall be the last one to bring shame on him. Since my mother died 5 years ago, I have been a good daughter to him. My husband is not rich. In fact, he is poor, but the dowry must be paid. I must see that this is done." The men thanked her and left. Efuru's father was not satisfied with what the men told him. He sent another batch of young men from his village, but nothing came out of it. So he gave up his daughter as lost. Efuru refused to go to the farm with her husband. "If you like," she said to her husband, "go to the farm. I am not cut out for farm work. I am going to trade." That year, the man went to the farm while his wife remained in the town. The farm was far away from the town. You must paddle a canoe for 10 hours before you get there. Life there was very hard, and there were plenty of mosquitoes. In the evenings, the farm people went to the bush to collect leaves to drive away mosquitoes. Efuru's husband went with them. When they came back, they spread the leaves round their bamboo beds. Sometimes, when there were not many mosquitoes, they could sleep. But during the rainy season, the mosquitoes came in hundreds. They did not only bite, they sang in men's ear, teasing them, trying their patience. The young husband felt his work on the farm irksome now that he was married. It had not mattered before, but now it was different. He had a lovely wife, so the least thing sent him home to her. Efuru welcomed him. "How are you?" she would ask him. "How is everything in the farm? What did you bring me from the farm?" "I brought you some vegetables and fish. We caught plenty a week ago. I dried them for you, and here you are." He brought out the fish from his bag. They were well dried on sticks. "Thank you, my husband. Now go and have your bath while I prepare some food for you to eat." The husband went off to have his bath in the stream. Efuru went to the kitchen to cook. She used plenty of fish and cooked delicious nsala soup for her dear husband. When her husband came back from the stream, she welcomed him and put the food before him. When he finished, Efuru asked him if he would go out to see his friends. "No, not today. I shall see them some other time. I am tired and must go to bed early." Efuru's husband stayed in town for 2 days before he went back to the farm. One day, Efuru's mother-in-law called her. "My daughter," she said to her, "you have not had your bath." "No, my mother, I have not had my bath." "A young woman must have her bath before she has a baby." "I am not pregnant yet, mother." "I know, my daughter. I am not talking about that. A baby will come when God wills it. I want you to have your bath before there is a baby. It is better that way. It is safer, really." "All right, mother, but my husband must be told, and he will come from the farm before it is done." So the next day, Efuru's husband was sent for. He was very happy to come home. He was like a frog who wanted to go upstream, and seeing no means was carried by a fast-flowing tide. In his excitement, he forgot to tell any of the people on the farm. When he went, the other farmers gossiped. "Why does Adizua go to the town so often?" one of the farmers asked. "Don't you know that he has married a very beautiful woman? How the woman agreed to marry him still remains a mystery to everybody." "How? Is the woman from a very good family?" "The daughter of Nwashike Ogene, the mighty man of valor. Ogene who single-handed fought against the arrows when they came to molest us. Nwashike himself proved himself the son of his father. He was a great fisherman. When he was fishing, he caught only asa and aja. His yams were the fattest in the whole town, and what is more, no man has ever seen his back on the ground." "So that's the man whose daughter that imbecile married?" "Yes. The amazing thing is that the father has done nothing about it. He has sent some young men to fetch his daughter, but she did not go with them, and since then he had done nothing about it. If it were in his youthful days, Nwashike would have taught that fool a lesson. Things are changing fast these days. These white people have imposed so much strain on our people. The least thing you do nowadays, you are put into prison." "I don't envy him," the other man said, but it was obvious that he was green with envy. "I give them only 3 years. By then the woman will know her husband too well to want to stay with him longer. Why does she remain in town and not come to the farm with her husband? She refused to go to the farm. She is trading instead. She said she was not cut out for farm work, and I don't blame her. She is so beautiful. You will think that the woman of the lake is her mother. Her mother died 5 years ago. She too was a very beautiful woman." After seeing this type of woman, the other man continued, "One hisses when one sees one's wife." The other laughed. "You have a lovely wife yourself." "Yes, I know it, but..." "Well, let's leave it at that." Efuru's husband returned home and was told about his wife's circumcision. "It must be done now, my son." His mother told him, "And this is the time. Let's not leave it until she gets pregnant." Adizua said it was all right. He could afford the expenses, but he was afraid of Efuru's father. "Your father must be told, my wife. It won't be fair to have you have your bath without his knowledge. He must be told." "He won't be told. It will make him angrier. When we have enough money to pay the dowry, we shall approach elderly men who will help us beg him." So it was as Efuru said. Her mother-in-law got everything ready. The camwood, Izizi and Ufe Awusa were bought on Nkwo Day. She went to Onitsha and bought homemade cloth for her daughter-in-law. When she came back, she went to see the woman who would do the circumcision. "Is that you, my friend?" the woman asked from within. "Yes, Ugunwa," she greeted her. "Oh, and what is yours? I have forgotten it." "Omeifako." "Yes, Omeifako. And how is everybody in your home?" "They are well, and yours?" "We are well. It is only hunger troubling us." "It is good, it is only hunger. it is better than ill health. That's what they say, ill health is worse. She came out from the room with a mat. Sit down here, my friend. The two elderly women talked on general things for a while. I have no cola, please. Don't worry about cola. It is very early, and besides, this is Nkwo morning. Nobody gives cola to people on Nkwo morning. I have something important to tell you. You know my son has been married. His wife has not yet had her bath, so we want her to have her bath, and that's why I have come. What day will suit you? I am glad to hear this. Is your daughter-in-law pregnant? I don't think so. She told me she was not. Find out from her again. I don't want to do it if she is pregnant. It is risky. If she loses too much blood, it won't be good for her. So find out from her again and bring word tomorrow. Oh, what a pity, I have no collar. Wait, let me see. She went into her room again. She came out with a bottle of homemade gin and a ganache. You will like the gin. My daughter cooks it in the farm. When she finishes, she puts it in a canoe in the dead of the night and paddles to town. When they come, I hide them at the back of my house and no policeman will see it. She filled the ganache and gave it to her visitor. Efuru's mother-in-law drank it in a gulp and made a noise with her mouth. The woman filled the same ganache and drank the gin in a gulp also. It is a good gin. We shall continue cooking our gin. I don't see the difference between it and the gin sold in special bottles in the shops. Efuru's mother-in-law got up to go. Thank you very much. I am going. You are going? Thank you. Come tomorrow. Go well. Efuru's mother-in-law was at the woman's house the next day. She told her that her daughter-in-law was not pregnant. That's all right then. I shall come tomorrow morning after the cock crow. Get hot water ready. The next morning, the woman was at Efuru's. She sat down and Efuru came out and greeted her. You are the young wife, my daughter. You are beautiful, my daughter. I will be gentle with you. Don't be afraid. It is painful, no doubt, but the pain disappears like hunger. You know what? And she turned to Efuru's mother-in-law. You know Nwakego's daughter? Yes, I know her. She did not have her bath before she had that baby who died after that dreadful flood. God forbid. Why? Fear. She was afraid. Foolish girl. She had a foolish mother. Their folly cost them a son, a good son. How did you know? They came to me early one morning and told me. They wanted it to be done in my house so that people would not know. The Dibia had already told them that the baby died because she did not have her bath. I did it for them. She remained in my house for 7 days. Is everything ready now? Yes, come this way. The woman went to the back of the house, and there it was done. Efuru screamed and screamed. It was so painful. Her mother-in-law consoled her. It will soon be over, my daughter. Don't cry. Meanwhile, Efuru's husband was in his room. He felt all the pain. It seemed as if he was the one being circumcised. The neighbors wondered what was the matter. When they came to the house, they saw that the back door was locked and they turned back. It's been done, one of the neighbors said to the other. Oh yes, that's it. I saw the woman when she came. Efuru is having her bath. Poor girl, it's so painful. Efuru lay on her back with her feet apart. She was not crying anymore, but it was still very painful. The woman gave instructions. She prepared a black stuff and put it in a small calabash and left it outside the room where Efuru was lying. Sprinkle this on the feet of all the visitors before they come into the room. It will be infected if this is not done. Press it with hot water every morning and night. If anything goes wrong, send for me. Oh, where is my razor? Efuru's mother-in-law gave her the sharp razor that did the work. She wrapped it up and tied it at one end of her wrapper. The next morning, Ajunupu the sister of Efuru's mother-in-law, came to the house. After eating kola, she cleared her throat. Osai, you have done something. Why was I not told that Adizua's wife was going to have her bath? Why am I treated these days as if I am a stranger and not your sister? Adizua married a wife and you did not tell me. I held it from outside. Again, Adizua's wife has washed and you have not told me either. What have I done to you? Please, my sister, you have done nothing wrong. You have not offended me in any way. It is my fault and I am very sorry. All right, I am happy I have told you. I don't want to bear any grudge against you. How is Efuru doing? She is in the room. Go in and see her. She saw the black stuff. There was a feather in it. She took the feather, dipped it into the black stuff and sprinkled it on her 2 feet. How are you, my daughter? I am well, oh. You have come to see us today. Nobody told me. I heard it from outside, and so I came. Is it very painful? It is much better now. It was dreadful the first day. Bono, my daughter. It is what every woman undergoes, so don't worry. Efuru's mother-in-law saw to it that she was very well looked after. She was to eat the best food and was to do no work. She was simply to eat and grow fat, and above all, she was to look beautiful. The camwood was used in dyeing her clothes. She also rubbed it all over her body, and the ziziani was used for her face. She ate whatever she wanted to eat. She did not eat cassava in any form. Only yams were pounded for her. She ate the best fish from the market. It was said that she was feasting. On market days, her mother went to the market and bought her the best. When she priced something in the market, other buyers gave her way and asked her how the feasting woman was getting on. She too rubbed some camwood on her hands and feet to tell people that her daughter has been circumcised. As Efuru's mother-in-law was buying things in the market one day, she heard someone calling, "Mother of a feasting girl! Mother of a feasting girl!" She turned and saw that it was her sister, Ajanupu. "How is she now?" "She is well, my sister." "Has it healed?" "Yes, it has healed. She had good body." "That's very good. The woman who did it has good hands too. She never has any trouble with all her cases, unlike Mbokoro." "No, Mbokoro is not good. She has not actually learnt the operation." "What are you buying for your daughter-in-law? Let's see your basin. You have bought so much. By the way, is she a good daughter-in-law?" "You cannot see two like her. She is such a nice girl. I like her very much. I am glad my son married her." "I am happy to hear this. I heard something about the dowry. Tell me all about it." "Well, my son cannot afford the dowry now. We hope that after the harvest, we shall pay it." "It must be done, my sister. Take this fish to your daughter and also the groundnut. Tell her I shall come and see her on a K-day. I am going home now. My son is not well." "Nnoro?" "Yes, Nnoro. I don't know what he wants me to do, that boy. There is no dibia I have not been to. He had a convulsion yesterday." "Convulsion? How did it happen?" "I was lucky it happened in my face. If not, he would have died." "One day he felt unwell, so I gave him some tablets I got from the dispensary. Then, just as I was about to leave for Abatu village to collect a debt, I heard a shout. I dropped what I had and rushed to the next room. It was Nnoro. He was having a convulsion. I picked him up, got a spoon and put it between his teeth. Then I took kernel oil and emptied the whole content on his body, head and face. I rubbed and rubbed. I put some in his eyes and made him drink some. Then I mixed some with mentholatum and put it in his anus, right into his anus. Then he passed out something on my hand. It was much better after that. I gave him some purgative medicine and today He was playing with the children outside before I left for the market. I am sorry, my sister. Please look after him well, because if an old woman falls twice, we count all she has in her basket. Mother of a feasting girl, come and buy things for your daughter. Efuru's mother-in-law went to the direction of the call. She bought some oranges and bananas from the woman who called her. I hope she is doing well, the woman asked her. Oh, she is doing very well, thank you. Efuru's husband was still at home. He had not gone back to the farm yet. He too was being well looked after by his mother. When he played with his wife, she rubbed canwood on his singlet and he went out without changing it. When his friends saw him, they knew at once that his wife had been circumcised and they teased him. Efuru grew more beautiful every day. The camwood did a lot to make her already smooth body smoother. She looked very plump and appealing to the eyes. Now that the wound had healed, she went out with other women who were circumcised like her. When they went out, they tied a wrapper dyed in camwood from their waist downwards. Then they had another one also dyed in camwood, which they used in covering their breasts. Then they had an instrument used in playing, which the people call nchakirikpo. They were objects of attraction. Men, women, and children stopped to watch and to admire them. When people came to see Efuru, and many did come to see her, her mother-in-law gave them kola, granuts, and many other things to eat. Efuru feasted for 1 month. Her mother-in-law wanted her to continue feasting for 2 months, but she refused, saying that the life was a dull one. She wanted to be up and doing. Since you won't continue feasting, we shall talk about going to the market, her mother-in-law told her one day. But if I were you, Efuru, I should continue for another 1 month. When I did mine, I feasted for 3 months. I know I cannot do for you all that my own mother did for me, but I will try. No, mother, 1 month of confinement is enough. We have not got much money, and I want to start trading. Again, we have not paid the dowry yet. I shall go to the market on Nkwo Day. You are right, my daughter. I was only thinking of what people would say. Never mind what people would say. So on Nkwo Day, Efuru dressed gorgeously. She plaited her lovely hair very well, tied velvet to her waist, and used aka stones for her neck. Her body was bare, showing her beautiful breast. No dress was worn when a young woman went to the market after the period of feasting. Her body was exposed that the people saw how well her mother or her mother-in-law had cared for her. A woman who was not beautiful on that day would never be beautiful in her life. As Efuru was being dressed, a small girl of about 8 years old was dressed in similar fashion. Just when the sun was going down, Efuru took the girl to the market. They were followed from the house by a few women. Efuru and the girl went round the market and were greeted by the people. As they were coming, some women asked, "Whose daughter is that?" "Don't you know her? She is the daughter of Nwashike Ogene. She is very beautiful. I have never seen a woman so beautiful. Who is her husband?" "Her husband is Adizua." "Who is Adizua?" "Who is his father? Is he known?" "He is not known, and nobody knows why she ever married him, and besides, not a cowrie has been paid on her head." "What are you telling me?" "It is true. The husband has not even gone with his people to Nwashike Ogene. And what has his father done?" "Nothing so far. What will he do now that he is getting old? If it were in his youth, his daughter would not have dared insult him in this way." As the two women were talking, Efuru came near. "Wait, my daughter, take this," and one of the women gave her some money. "You are very beautiful, my daughter. Take this," and another woman gave her some money also. Efuru thanked them and went home. When she had gone round the market, she went home without buying anything. When she got home, She changed her clothes, and the little girl changed hers also, and they went back to the market, this time to buy little things like fruits, groundnuts, kola nuts, and so on. Aha! This is a better cloth. The first one was rather old. This is nicer, one woman said. Efuru heard this and laughed to herself. She went on buying things. This time her mother-in-law was in the market and she was being congratulated. Well done, Osai. You have looked after her very well. Her cloth is gorgeous, but the first one is better. Why? She should have tied the first one now. Efuru heard this also and smiled to herself. Who can please the world? She asked herself. She knew that both clothes were very nice, and what was more, they fitted the occasion. They were the clothes her mother left for her. She bought them many years ago, and whenever there was a festival or the second burial of a relative, the clothes served very well. She knew that to buy some clothes in the market for the occasion would not do. The older the clothes, the better. It showed that in the days gone by, your mother could afford those clothes, and so her prestige was enhanced because her family was not among the newly rich. The wealth had been in it for years. Efuru came home feeling very tired that evening. Many people came to the house to congratulate her and her mother-in-law. Everything went on well, they told them. Your daughter's face is good, they told her, meaning that she was popular with people. Your daughter has the face of people, others told her, meaning the same thing. It is a good sign, they agreed, but underneath something weighed Efuru down.